What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Planetary Reviews, and I am here to bring you my review for Pacific Rim Uprising. I just recently saw the first one because I wanted to catch up, because I had never seen it before, so I wanted to know what happened before, and I really liked the first one. The first one was really crazy. It was just so cool seeing the Jaeger fight the kaiju. The special effects were really cool. The action was awesome. Was it a little cliched? Yes, but you know what? It was just such a badass trip, and I loved that first movie. That was so good. So, going into this movie, I had a little bit of hype. I was very excited for this one. So, was this able to do as good as the first one? Well, let's talk about it. First thing's the story. The story to this movie is that 10 years later, we haven't seen a kaiju in a long time. There hasn't been a portal breach in 10 years. And we're figuring out that there's still some Jaeger technology running around illegally, people grabbing them, making illegal Jaegers, and just the world's just continuing on pretty much. You know, a lot of the parts of the world were devastated pretty severely, but we're moving on. And then we have John Boyega's character, who is amongst the people who are trying to rebuild. He didn't want to be a part of the militaristic background that his father was. He felt more comfortable out and about just being amongst the normal people. And then we begin to find out that under certain circumstances, he ends up having to go back to that life. Because it turns out that there's an issue going on. There is kaiju coming back in a different sort of way this time. I don't want to go into too much spoiler territory, just know that the way they're coming back is pretty interesting in my opinion. The story behind that was pretty cool. It was a unique way to do it. I didn't think about that. I was like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. So I like that aspect of it, and I don't want to go into too much more detail than that, but just know from then on, the story isn't too crazy. It had an interesting idea that was actually a really good idea with like how the kaiju make their comeback in this movie. The thing is, it's a little cliche. Just like in the first one, I felt the story was a little cliched, and it was very predictable. You're gonna see every twist and turn, surprise this movie has to offer if you've seen any movie ever. You're going to know what's going to happen. The story is nothing special. But what does make this movie special, in my opinion, just like the first one, is the heart behind it. And the action, and the over-the-top craziness that are the Jaeger and the kaiju battles, and just the world that they've built with this like idea of these monsters coming around, and the humans had to build these giant Gundam-like creatures to fight them off. It's such a cool idea. And then in this movie, it's expanded upon a little bit more so that we can learn more about the Jaegers, and we can learn more about the kaiju and stuff like that. All very awesome, and the performances in this movie were great. Obviously, there were actually two standouts for me, and that was John Boyega's character was very cool. I liked him. He was nothing like his father. He was very different, and he had his own unique take to, you know, his son for being his son. He wasn't just a carbon copy. Was his character a little cliche also? Yes, he's the typical character that doesn't want to be like his dad. He didn't want to be a part of that world. He wanted to be different. He was like, nah, I don't want to be like that. But you know what? He played the character well, and there were a lot of funny moments in the movie with his character that really just gave this movie emotion, some heart. Not as much emotion as the first one, but there were still some good heartfelt moments that I really liked, and that was cool. The other standout performance was a character named Amora, and she was played by Kaylee Spaney. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but she did an excellent job in this movie. She is pretty much just a character that was living off in the world the way it is now, the destroyed city, just building her own stuff and just taking care of herself, an independent rogue, if you would like to call her that. And she was really awesome. She really played well off of John Boyega, and they both had a great chemistry that I really enjoyed, and I really liked that. I love this movie because it was just a simple, fun time. It was like a big roller coaster ride, and that's what I loved so much about this. With the chemistry between them, and then all the action going down with the kaiju and the Jaegers and the special effects and the action, it all made you just sit there and just be engaged throughout the entire movie, just like the first one. The negative thing is that I will say the villain in this movie, just like in the first one, nothing special. The villain in this movie was I saw it a mile away. They try to trick you and be like, ooh, is it this person? You knew right away. And granted, the actor plays him very well, and I really do like that, but nothing special. This person was not the standout. The standout was, just like the first one, the special effects, the action, the chemistry between all of our heroes in this, and just how awesome. This is just a huge popcorn movie, and that's what this was meant to be. It's like an adult version of Power Rangers, pretty much, just like the reboot we got. It's just meant to be enjoyed, just because if you like big monster movies and with a little bit more maybe like scientific background behind it. And there you go. There's nothing much really more to say about this movie. It was a fun ride with some heart to it. Great action, great special effects, a cliched story, yes, and a villain that you saw coming a mile away, but the way they provided this very unique way of bringing back the kaiju without just saying, hey, they're back, this was a pretty cool way to bring them back, a really awesome take to it that I was not expecting. So I was like, oh, that was actually really interesting. That was actually something that I did not see. I thought it was just going to be the, oh, look, they're back, and there you go. But no, this movie tried, and it really did do a good job with that. Was this cinematic gold? No, but it didn't have to be. It's okay to have movies that are just fun for the sake of being fun, and that is what Pacific Rim Uprising was to me. In my opinion, it might not be as good as the first, but only by a tad bit. Still, Pacific Rim Uprising gets a solid B from me, guys. Guys, I enjoyed this movie. I'm a sucker for big robots fighting giant monsters, and this was just a fun time. It was a roller coaster ride. But tell me what you guys thought. Do you guys like this movie better than the first one? Did you think it was worse than the first one? What are your opinions? I want to hear them in the comment section below, because I've become a fan. After watching the first movie and then seeing this one, I like this. I like this world. I like it a lot. It's freaking amazing. I love it. I like this kind of stuff. It's just brainless action with just giant monsters, giant robots. Oh man, it's awesome. I really have a soft spot for stuff like this, and it was done in a very adult way, and yet a very still fun way at the same time, not being completely brainless and dumb like, in my opinion, the Transformers movies can be. This was a good blend of just healthy action and some emotion to it. But guys, I'm just going to keep rambling because I just had a great time with this movie. But just to end the video, I want to tell you guys my next movie review is going to be Ready Player One. Very excited to see that. It looks pretty interesting from the trailers. And after that, I'll let you know what's going on with my next review. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.